Thank you so much for those of you that bared with me on that, something like that. So now that we have a few extra minutes, I'm going to try and not get long-winded because I was, and this is my second attempt. It took way too long last time. We'll go just a little bit more information in what's going on and where we are at right now. So our September budget looked a little bit like this. We have our home maintenance sinking fund that kind of has a permanent residency as we're putting money into it and spending some money as well. So I'll go over in the expenses what we spent out of that. In terms of income, I budgeted $300 for RJ's part-time merchandising income for A-Merch because his August income was a little bit lower, and then he managed to come back up. So he brought in $449.49, which was $149.49 over budget there. I budgeted $265 for my merchandising work with Driveline and brought in $397.28, which was $132.28 over budget there, which is a bit of a combination of increases in minimum wage and work that shows up in my schedule during the month that hasn't been accounted for. So little bits there. My part-time bookkeeping work with the vet hospital here I budgeted $880 and brought in $888 on the dot, which is so enjoyable for money nerd or number nerds, I suppose, like myself. So that was $8 over budget there. And then JF Bell Group is the other company that I work for doing part-time bookkeeping that I stumbled upon after settling into bookkeeping for the veterinary hospital here. I was peeking around on the internet, seeing what was available to get myself fully immersed into bookkeeping and doing adult work, earning adult income because I'm a grown person. And found them on Indeed looking for a bookkeeper for veterinarians. Like the light just like shone, like, oh, right, it was perfect. So that's been going really, really well. I budgeted $600 in September, and it was a super busy month. We had a lot going on. So that actually came in at $907.46, which is a little bit higher than what I normally expect. But that was $307.46 there over there. And then this line item is for the businesses that I am working as an independent contractor doing their bookkeeping, all owned by a friend and coworker of mine. And so I do their bookkeeping for $100 a month. So that's, 3 different businesses here, $300 for bookkeeping. 2 of them paid in September. One of them, they missed it. They were just late and actually paid me today, but one of their dogs got a hold of the check. So we'll see if that goes through or not. But the check they gave me for today was for September and October. So they'll be caught up. Anyway, so that was just a bit under there. So our total income, we budgeted $3,592.16 and brought in $4,089.39, which is a little, inflated because of the sinking fund, but we were $497.23 over budget in income, which is always fabulous. So going into our expenses, most of these are usually pretty fixed. Electric, we know 2 weeks before the month start, $84.85. Bill has been so low this summer, which has been fantastic, even though they're saying that we had record heat and, record number of 90-degree days here in upstate New York. We only used our air conditioner like 3 times. And we don't know if it's the blown-in insulation that we did last fall or what, but things have been really manageable around here. It gets a little warm, but it's been really good. So electricity has been really low and fantastic. Garbage is quarterly, so that's not due or was not due in September. Car insurance came in at $92.97. Gas, we budgeted $200. And if you notice, anybody who's been with me for a while, this is a lot less than it used to be because I'm not doing any crazy driving around anymore. So excited about that. And we only spent $189.01. We were $10.99 under budget, which RJ meant to actually use that up before the end of the month so that he wasn't dipping into October because he was low on gas, but he forgot. So we budgeted $300 for groceries and somehow finally managed to come in under budget on groceries. Finally, this, every other week grocery shopping is working out for us because we were $35.90 under budget somehow, because the beginning of the month, if you look up here, was a little crazy before we finally got to our, biweekly trip there. So I don't know how we pulled this off, but it was shocking nonetheless. And no food for the dog. He's good. He will get another bag in October. Phones are on budget, $49.16 for RJ and $38.26 for me. He gets more data than I do. $88.63 for our cable bill, $8.99 for our basic Netflix bill, $5.99 for Hulu, $33.46 for RJ's Lightroom subscriptions. That technically should be going through the business account, and when we combined incomes, I moved it over to the household, and there it is. But I purchased a video editing subscription because when I shifted from the old laptop to the Chromebook that RJ bought me, I didn't have video editing kind of just automatically built in, just that real basic stuff. So I was looking around, and this one seemed decent. They actually charged, it was like $41, $42 for a year, but I had $20 in my PayPal account from, I think one of the doctors sent me $20 for bringing her a coffee machine. So that cut into that, so it ended up only costing me $21.92. Anyways, for home maintenance, we did a bunch of stuff. I honestly don't remember what the $145.79 is, which I should. That's a little bit substantial. But the $645.84, we bought a new washer because we decided that it was time. The other one worked, but it was probably as old as we were, so it was time for a new one. $57.15 was just a small remodel in the laundry room. When we replaced the washer, a lot of the floor had been damaged by the cats, and since we are no longer a cat household, we decided to repair that. $342.87, RJ decided that it was time. We've been in the country long enough, and he purchased a shotgun. So we are officially country folk. Got ourselves our shotgun and 55-51 in ammo as well. So we decided to put that into home maintenance. I might rename it to home maintenance and lifestyle because I think I'm going to use that fund next summer to get Gav a kayak as well. So speaking of Gav, we had our school supplies line item here. Had he gone back to school like normal, he didn't need hardly anything. It's crazy. I remember needing tons of stuff when I was a kid. He needed like a folder, but he opted to do the distance learning from home. I gave him the choice. That's what he decided. And the downside was that the district that we are in, their distance learning, online learning is really limited. They're only focusing on math and ELA, English language arts, that thing. So I was a little disappointed in that, so I decided to invest in some workbooks for him. So off of Amazon, I bought him a geography, social studies, and science workbook. So he works in those daily after school, or rather after his Zoom class. So that was that purchase there for him. It was my brother's big 40th birthday, so he got a gift card to Lowe's because they are building a new house. And then we forgot to budget for registration for one of the Jeeps, so that was $89 there. We are contributing to a Roth IRA, even though it's a very small amount. It's something. At least I'm doing something. Ideally, once the mortgage is paid off and, things kind of settle in with where we're at for work, we'll crank that up. But for now, at least I'm doing something. That's our monthly amount there. And then miscellaneous, we budgeted $50, only spent $39.38. I know 20 of it was on pizza. That's the only one that I wrote down. We got some Domino's one night. $9.47, I think, was just like a light bulb for one of the brake lights for one of the Jeeps that I didn't feel like putting through the car sinking fund because it was $10. Just put it in miscellaneous. I think the $3 was I bought one of those single-use aluminum foil baking pans because RJ has been very naughty and buying Halloween brownies and cupcakes and things for Gavin to do as home economics, learning how to cook and bake. So that was $1 for that, and like one of those mesh screen sink drain filters. So I put one of those in because it was a long time coming. And I don't buy myself things. I just don't. I don't know. I don't like buying things. So that was that there. We technically, according to this, went over on our expenses by $277.22, but that is largely because when it comes to the mortgage, the minimum payment is $688, and I expected to put at least an extra $200 on that, but we were able to put an extra $450 on that. So that was $250 over, which is over on an expense, but in a good way. So this is a good negative here. And then going into savings, we put $100 into the car fund because we're not anticipating anything crazy right now, so we're just doing $100 for that. Emergency fund is happy at $10,000. That is about 5 months worth of expenses for us comfortably, probably 6 if we stretch it a little bit more. Home maintenance is getting about a minimum of $200 plus any extra kind of change gets rolled into that because I like to do even hundreds and fifties to the mortgage. So whatever is left between 50 and 100 goes on here. So $207.78 plus we had $804 in interest, which interest sucks right now in these savings accounts. Really super disappointed. That's up to $1509. And this is new. We added a fireworks fund. Anybody familiar with New York knows that we're not allowed to do fireworks. They just finally, in the last couple of years, started letting us do like the little fireworks that you can buy like at the tent. And everybody's been enjoying them so much, so we decided that we are going to be one of those people that heads down to Pennsylvania. We're probably going to do it this winter, and we're going to get ourselves some real fireworks next year, and we're going to have some fun with it. So we are saving up about $1,000 to go buy some fireworks, some mortars over the winter. So that's going to be $200 a month for that. So we'll probably go in February once we have 1,000. So totally worth it. I'm absolutely justifying that in the name of fun. We'll put on a show for all the neighbors. All us good country folk are going to get together and have some beers and set up some fireworks next year. It's going to be great. So that is all of that. We saved $507.78, putting our total savings up to $13,309.08, which is fantastic, all while throwing at least $100 into our Roth IRA, of which we also have a 401k with about $25,000. So at least we're somewhere with retirement, but we will get that cranked up in the next few years. But currently the goal is trying to get the mortgage paid down. So $450 extra to that, which was good. I'm expecting to put more in October because October is a 3-check month for the vet hospital. So that'll get cranked up there. But that was our September, so I would love to hear how yours is. I would love to hear if you've got kids, how schooling is going, what kind of craziness you're experiencing there, or if it's fantastic. Either way, I'd love to hear. So let me know how things are going for you, the good, the bad. I'd love to hear them all, and I will see you guys again soon.